Alright, today is, I think, the 18th. No, it's the 19th. So, I've been working on my landing gear. I mounted all the tires yesterday, and I set them all at 20 psi last night. I came out and checked them this morning, and they were all still on 20 psi, all the tires. So, there's the other one there. Now what I found is, when I go to mount this tire, my brake caliper is hitting right here on the corner. Well, I looked at the plans, and all it does in the plans is it shows you mounting the tire on the rim. Right there. See how there's already a bolt coming through the anchor plate. And what it is right there in that corner, there's a little bit too much meat on the outside of the gear itself. So I called Roger, I called Zenith this morning, and I talked to Joyce, and Roger called me right back, and I asked him, I said, what do I do? And he said, you put the tire up on there and get the two bolts started, and then you make a line, and you just have to take just a corner off from that so that the brake caliper fits on that okay. So that's what I've done. I went a little conservative on my line. I'm probably going to have to use my file and hone it in, but you can't put it back on once you've taken off too much. So I'm erring on the side of caution, and I can use my good heavy file. It's probably only going to be a millimeter or so, maybe a little more. And I'll see what it looks like. I'm going to actually put this tire on this side and show you what I'm talking about right now. So let me get this up so that you can see what I'm looking at. I'm going to have to set that up a little bit. Anyways. So this tire goes on like this. The bolts are already in. Of course, I've got the gear upside down. The holes are already on it, in line. So I push that up there, and I'll grab my camera again and show you what I mean. So if you come over here and look, that plate has got two more bolts that have got to come through to put on. Now you see how them bolts line up perfectly on there? But you can see right here, right where that brake caliper is, that corner's got to be taken out of there and rounded off. And that's what Roger told me to do, so that's what I'm doing. I also had a question about the front fork, because this front fork is different than the front fork that is on the older 701s. This is a newer style. It's a single piece and it's rounded. Now my flange is rounded. So what he said to do, because there are nothing in my plans. If you look at these plans, it's the different fork. It's got a doubler in it and everything, and just nothing in the drawings except for these two pictures. It's got this tube, and it shows a picture of this, what I've got, and it's got the hub, which is right here, and tells you what bolts to use in the spacers. So what he said to do was to measure from here all the way around to here, mark a center line, measure from here to here, front and back, and get a center line, and then mount that exactly on the center line, clamp it into place, and then mark the holes and drill them on a press. So that's what I'm going to do. And that's pretty cut and dried. Of course, this will be facing the front. The angle goes toward the front, so it'll mount on like that right there. This being the front of the aircraft. So that's where I'm at this morning. I'm going to finish cutting this little piece out right here that I've already marked and started, and I'm just using a hacksaw. Okay, keep going.